Hi, welcome to Africa Enlightenment Center. Here we bring to you religious, political, and social enlightenment. Yeah, let's dive straight into what I want to talk about. Is it Islam versus Christianity or the elite versus the poor? Today, the Middle East is engulfed in crisis, serious crisis, and there seems to be no solution, no way. Why is it so? And it has been made to look like it's a religious battle between Christians and Muslims in that place. And that's how, they make it sound. But looking at reality, looking at it critically, you discover that no, it is not a Christian versus, Muslim war or problem and all that. This is about resources. This is about land grabbing. This is about taking resources, okay? For personal benefits or for the benefits of some people. And who are those people? The elite. It is not a war between Christianity and, Islam and all that. Though Islam is somehow, a radical. The war is not a war between Christianity and Islam. This is a fight for resources. This is a battle for control. And the major reason is because the Middle East is a very strategic place, very strategic location. You talk about, for instance, that area, Israel, we talk about tourism in that place. There's so much money coming out of tourism. And that place is one of the oldest trading routes in the world. Okay? So, and most of the religions of the world came through that place, came through that area. So it has a lot of history backing it and all that. Now let's dive into the main content. The truth remains that the people that are called Jews in that land, they are not the original Jews that are mentioned in the Bible. You see that? Even the Bible invalidates so many of the things, that these present Jewish people lay claim to. Now looking at the Bible, you discover that land wasn't even theirs. According to their Bible, they conquered the people that were in that land and took the land for themselves. After so many years, they were conquered severally. They went on exile. They came back. Though most of the stories are not accurately true, but there is some history in them. So they were conquered severally. They went on exile and came back to the land until the final time in AD 70 that the Romans conquered them and drove most of the Jews out of the land. So the land was no longer theirs. And then you talk about the Islamic Empire that came later and took the land after the Roman Empire fell. Then Christians, gathered the Christian Empire, the Christian Roman, part of the Roman Empire. They survived, fought for the land through crusades. That was when the crusades came on. And then after the crusades, they were able to annex some part of the land, of the place. And all that, battle for places, some places were held by Christians, some places were held by Muslims, some places were held by the original inhabitants of the land and all that. All that, battle, all that shifting was going on, for so many years. Until the Second World War, after which the land was given to Israel, a part of it, just a place, because the Zionist movement, they were craving for homeland. They said that place is their home. That's their homeland. They tried to settle in other places, but it looks as if it didn't work. So they had to find a way to settle there. There were so many Zionist movements and all that came together and forced the British and the Americans and the French and all that coalition, okay, to make sure that they give them a place in the Middle East. And they gave them the place where they currently occupy as Israel. But at the end of the day, they began to expand. And then, it became a challenge. And then those who are trying to get the land back from them, they're only using, Islam as a political ideology to try to get that place back. It is interests that are playing out here. It is not, Muslims versus Christians that are actually fighting the battle, but those who control these religions. That is why religion is dangerous. Those who control it, they are the ones controlling the people, using them to fight, as human shields, as soldiers and all that. They've been told something. An idea has been passed into their heads that this land belongs to us. God gave it to us and all that. So we must fight to take it. But the real intent is not that the land belongs to them, was given to them by God and all that. The real intent is to have access to the resources in the place and control the place and control the resources in the place on both sides. So we can't take sides with anybody. You see that? If the people were wise, the solution to this problem, it is for them to say, no, we're first of all human beings, and we don't want this Jewish or Islamic thing. We don't want it. All we want is we want to live in this land. It belongs to us. Already the Israelites or the Israelis, they're already there. The Jews, they're already there in the place. So the solution is very simple. Common sense solution is very simple. If not the interests that are playing out, the solution is simple. What is the solution? Two-state solution, very easy. I think I played a video of Joe Biden talking about it. And that's the truth. Two-state solution.
As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
You see that? Share the land and let Israel, concede some of the land to the Palestinians. And let the Palestinians build their homes and live in the land in peace. Give them their own country within the same space. You can share the boundaries, you can shift the boundaries. Let there be an agreement. But it is the leaders, the religious leaders and political leaders that are using religion. These are the people that are always at the discussion table. The common people are not represented at the table. Just like the situation that happened in Nigeria, where Nigeria lost the Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon because the voices of the ordinary people were not taken into account to make decisions, because that land was ceded to Cameroon during wartime, as a war strategy to stop Biafra. You see that? So Nigeria lost that land because the interests of the common people were not put in place. And all of that. So you see that most of these leaders, they are not actually fighting for anybody. They're fighting for their personal interest to control. But religious and political leaders, we all know that politics and religion work hand in hand. Despite the fact that, for instance, America, talks about separation between religion and state and all that. But you still see the elements of this thing there. The only way that this world can actually have peace is when we return to naturalism. That is what I think. That's what I believe. Naturalism, where we don't, believe that there's one God somewhere that is going to come to solve our problems or that dictates what happens in the world, and a few persons, are empowered to dictate the lives of others. We are supposed to be able to come together and agree, naturalistically, based on natural evidence and tendencies and all that. We look at the evidence, we look at everything and say, okay, this is the position of things. And then we can live together in harmony. If the common people in the land decide that this war is over, it will be over. When it stop taking sides, but decide that we want a homeland, we want a home, that's what we want. So share it, divide it. Let these people take this side, we take this other side. Everybody concedes and say, okay, we leave this side for you. We leave this side for you. And it's taken. Everybody goes home in peace. And the war ends. But until then, these things will continue. Or until maybe some leaders will rise that are actually the masses themselves and say, no, this is not a religious battle. This is not a fight for resources. It's about humanity. If it's actually about humanity, it won't go this way. Some people are happy that the war is going on because they are, making billions of dollars from sending aid to the poor. What does aid do? Aid doesn't aid anybody. It doesn't aid anybody. You see that? It only, appears to give some kind of relief to the poor people, who most of them are suppressed, who cannot air their voices. So they're satisfied with the little that, that is shared to them for them to survive till the next day. And that doesn't help the world. What will help the world is actual resource distribution, wealth creation and distribution, resource creation and distribution, that everybody has a piece of the pie, that everybody has a home, has a place. We live in a world where some people are extremely rich in billions of dollars, but some other people can't even find a place to lay their heads and can't even have one good meal a day. For days, they will go hungry. So all of these discussions here and there, at the UN and all that, it's all politics. When humans want to solve this problem, it will be solved once and for all. In one day, everybody will concede and say, this part of the land, take this part of the land, take this. And that's it. An agreement is signed, it's sealed. Everybody goes home happy and the world ceases. But those interests that are benefiting from it, they won't allow it to rest. They will always play the religious card and the sentiments and all that. Those on the Islamic side, the Islamic extremists, they have been told that, they must unalive the Israelis, that they are bad people, the wicked people. And then the Israelis, they have been told that God gave them the land using Bible stories of conquest of, people that were unalived and all that, to tell their people to continue to fight the war. And they're fighting against humans. And the people that are suffering are the poor people. So it is not a religious problem. It is the elite versus the poor. Until the poor people decide that it is enough, it won't be enough. And this is not just peculiar to Israel and Palestine alone. Everywhere in the world, when poor people decide that it is enough, it will be enough. It is time for us to begin to think critically and use reason to solve our problems, and not political or religious sentiments. Because the truth is, there's no God out there that is going to come to solve our problems, or there's no God out there that gave the land, any land, to anybody.